that might almost seem redundant. So I tried to think what it is that you have that has already been proven to work. What is the Michael and Joe time-tested secret sauce that you can bottle and pass on to others in the hope that they could learn to be as happy together as you obviously are? What is it that makes the two of you so special together? Not surprisingly, I had two thoughts, which in the end came down to 3 words. The first thought came to me when writing my notes for this evening. I got so tired of typing Michael and Joe over and over and over. I almost tried to create a hotkey. But it made me realize that I hardly ever say Michael without saying Joe. And hardly ever do I say Joe without saying Michael. Michael, I've known you since before there was a Joe. And Joe, I think I've known you long enough and well enough to say that I've seen you both grow incredibly as individuals since you've been together. Your relationship has allowed for that. And the outcome of that growth individually became a stronger relationship, a Michael and Joe together that was greater than the sum of the parts. That growth individually that nurtured into the growth, that growth individually that nurtured into the growth of the Michael and Joe, or the Glickliff, would not have been possible without the first 2 of the 3 words that I referenced: trust and respect for each other. The kind of trust and respect that allows each other to grow. The second thought is actually a sports platitude. Quote, it's not how good your good shots are, it's how good your bad shots are and what you do with them. You know, when things are going great, Michael, maybe you win a case you thought was unwinnable, or Joe, maybe your boss finally does realize you're doing the work of 3 people. When the sun is shining down when the sun is shining down on you, it's easy to keep those good times rolling. What matters in a relationship is what happens when there is a difference of opinion, when there is a disagreement, when things are not as smooth as they could be. From what I have seen, when you have disagreements or opposing thoughts on a subject, it usually plays out like this. The opposing opinions are shared, always briefly, followed by an oftentimes witty, humor-based, sometimes sarcastic retort. Maybe you'll look, maybe you'll look. And then it's done. Case closed. Let's move on. That ability to always keep your eye on the prize, to see the bigger picture, that is the third word. That is the love that, along with the trust and respect for each other, is the Michael and Joe secret sauce. At the risk of sounding mundane, this has already been, is now, and will always be a match made in heaven. Michael, when we first met, you were just another one of Robin's cousins. You were not quite a teenager, and I think I was a year or 2 older. As time went on, we worked together, we played together, we celebrated good times together, we suffered through harder times together. Somewhere along the line, you were no longer Robin's cousin, you were my friend, and a very good friend. Paradoxically, Joe, until a few moments from now when you will be my cousin, you're like waiting for something to happen. You have always been a friend and a very good friend. Although you have been as much a part of family, probably more so than Penny. So for me, when this evening is over, nothing will seem too different. Tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, I'll still cherish the familial ties, the bonds of friendship as I always have. And to a lot of the members of the community here tonight, myself included until recently, we might assume that since you have been together for so many years, you might not feel too different either. The main difference is that now you get to have a piece of paper, a legal document filed away in City Hall with your names on it. talking with you, I realized just how short-sighted I was. You are now in a position that a lot of us just take for granted. And that helps create a whole different level of significance and meaning for you. I'd like to say that I know how significant, how meaningful this is to you, but of course I can't even come close to comprehending how happy and proud you must be. I can't even fathom what you must be feeling. But I can definitely tell you that I love you both. I can absolutely tell you how happy I am for you. And I can also tell you how proud I am to know that on that piece of paper in City Hall, maybe in small letters, my name will be there along with yours. I would like to ask Claude Allais, Ron Michaels, James Stewart, and Kay Zusman to join us.
Traditionally, a chuppah is open on all four sides to represent the hospitality towards guests. In this way, it is consistent with Abraham's tent, which similarly was open for hospitality. A chuppah typically symbolizes the home that a couple will build together. This home initially lacks furniture, as a reminder that the basis of a home is the people within, and not the possessions. Joe and I embrace this tradition of recognizing the importance of people over possessions. We are extremely lucky to have made and developed so many wonderful relationships over the years. Mindful of limitations of time and space, we would like to call out these four individuals as representative of all of these relationships, which form the pillars and cornerstones of our home, redefining for us the meaning of family.
Claude Allais. Nearly 13 years ago, Claude and her husband Patrick did us an extraordinary honor by asking us to serve as the godfather of their eldest child, Maple. And in so doing, they inextricably linked our lives and enriched us in ways we could never have imagined.
Rana Michaels. Having shared a driveway growing up, Rana is a touchstone of my childhood and so much more. She serves as a link from past to present. Though we call her by several names, we always know that whenever we call, we can count on her unequivocally.
James Stewart, my best man in dignity, but his best man into our lives, and we cannot imagine life without him. He's our navigator, kind, calm, driving us between points, listening more than he speaks, so that when he does, it is impactful, unexpected, and always welcome, just like him.
Kay Zusman. Kay and her husband Todd have brought laughter and light into our lives. Our friendship began in college when I was entranced by her southern accent, her larger-than-life stories, and her wicked sense of humor. She has an uncanny knack for showing up at just the right moment to inject levity or support. Sorry. We would like to acknowledge the dear friends who built this chuppah for us, Debbie Bushell, Sandy Bollinger, and Victoria Valinsky. For Joe and I, family and friends are so extrinsic to our concept of home. We could never have pulled off this wonderful celebration without enlisting their particular skills and talents. We are lucky beyond measure to have you in our lives.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce our cousin, Rebecca Johnson. Michael and Joe have asked Rebecca to sing one of their favorite songs, My One and Only Love.